Chapter 20. The Most High manifests himself to his beloved Mary, our princess, by conferring on her an extraordinary favor. Already our heavenly princess felt that the day of the clear vision of the divinity was approaching, and that, like the harbingers of early dawn, the rays of the divine light were breaking upon her soul. Her heart began to be inflamed by the nearness of the invisible fire, which illumines but does not consume, and made attentive by this new clearness, she questioned her angels and said to them, "My friends and lords, my most faithful and vigilant sentinels, tell me, what hour is it of my night? And when will the bright light of the day arise, in which my eyes shall see the sun of justice, which illumines them and gives life to my affections and my soul?" The holy princes answered her and said, "Spouse of the Most High, thy wished-for light and truth is near. It will not tarry long, for already it approaches." At these words, the veil which hid the view of these spiritual substances was slightly lifted, and the holy angels became visible, showing themselves as during her first years in their own essence, without hindrance or dependence of the bodily senses. With these hopes and with the vision of the heavenly spirits, the anxieties of Most Holy Mary concerning the sight of her beloved were somewhat allayed. But this kind of love seeks after the most noble object, and without it, although enjoying the presence of the angels and saints, the heart, wounded by the arrows of the Omnipotent, will not come to rest. Nevertheless, our heavenly princess, rejoiced by this alleviation, spoke to her angels and said to them, "Sovereign princess and flames of that inaccessible light in which my beloved dwells, why have I for so long a time been unworthy of your sight? Wherein have I been displeasing to you and failed to satisfy you? Tell me, my lords and teachers, wherein I have been negligent, in order that I may not again be forsaken by you through my own fault." "O Lady and Spouse of the Almighty," they answered, "we obey the voice of our Creator and are governed by his holy will, and as his spirits, he commissions us and sends us out in his service. He commanded us to conceal ourselves during the time in which he himself withdrew from sight. But though hidden, we remained present, solicitous for thy protection and defense, fulfilling his command by remaining in thy company without being visible. Tell me then, where is my Lord at the present time, my highest God, my Maker? Tell me whether my eyes shall see him soon, or whether perhaps I have displeased him, in order that I may, as a most insignificant creature, bitterly bewail the cause of this punishment. Ministers and ambassadors of the highest King, be moved by my afflicted love, and give me tokens of my beloved." "Soon, O Lady," they answered, "thou shalt see him, whom thy soul desires. Let thy sweet sorrows turn to hope. Our God will not withhold himself from those that seek him so truly. Great, O Mistress, is his loving goodness with all those that cling to him, and he will not be niggardly in satisfying thy wishes." The holy angels openly called her mistress, as they were sure of her most prudent humility, and as they could conceal the full meaning of this title under pretense of her position as spouse of the Most High. For she knew that they had been eyewitnesses of the espousal which his Majesty had celebrated with their queen. And as his wisdom had ordered, that in all else, except in the title and dignity of Mother of the Word, which was to remain concealed to her until the proper time, the holy angels were to show her great reverence. So they were solicitous to give her many tokens of respect, although they covertly honored her much more for what they knew in secret than for that which they manifested to her openly. During these conferences and love colloquies, the heavenly princess awaited the approach of her spouse and her highest delight, while the seraphims, who attended her, commenced to prepare her by a new enlightenment of her faculties, a sure pledge of the beginning of the good for which she hoped. But as these favors augmented the fire of her love without allowing her as yet to reach the desired end, they only augmented the heart-rending anguish of her love, and with sighs she spoke to the seraphim, saying, "Most exalted spirits, who stand close to my highest good, ye clear mirrors, whence reflected I was wont to see him in the joy of my soul, tell me, where is the light which illuminates you and fills you with beauty? Tell me, why does my beloved tarry so long? Tell me, what hides him, and why my eyes cannot see him? If it is through my fault, I will amend my ways. If I do not merit the fulfillment of my wishes, I will conform myself to his will. And if he seeks his pleasure in my sorrow, I will suffer in the joy of my heart. But tell me, how can I live without having my own life? How shall I direct myself without light?"